Hi, I'm Dr. Kanan. I am the co-founder of Mind Celebrations. We are an employee wellness and mental health organization, and we champion for psychological safety at the workplace. I'm also director at CRISP, which is the Council for Realty Infrastructure Services and Promotion. So thank you very much, ORGATEC India, for having me here today.
What defines a truly human-centric workplace? And how has the meaning of workplace experience evolved over the last few years?
Let us understand a little bit about what keeps employees engaged at the workplace. Okay? So employee engagement is like a nice mixture of three things. Think of a nice drink. The drink has, some water or soda, it has ice in it, and then it has another part, whichever you prefer. So employee engagement is also a bit like that. It is a combination of, first is the brand contract. That means what is the brand promise? What you read about on the internet, on social media, website, that is the brand contract. Okay? And that is present. It is sacrosanct of a company, of a brand. Then it is second is what is called as the transactional contract. That means what are you promising the employee on paper? Their roles and responsibilities, their JDs, their perks, and that is their salary, their advantages that they're receiving is transactional. But there is another element which is a very large part of the employee engagement piece. And that is called as the psychological contract. That means, what is a psychological contract? It is the unsaid word of the company and the employee. But the employee is asking it and the company is supposed to give it. It is not written. And that is how an employee feels belonged, how they feel loved. Not loved in the sense of intimacy love, but they feel like coming to work. So the workplace is no longer just a place to visit. It is actually a place that makes them feel that they are needed there. So that belongingness is the psychological. Are they feeling valued? Are they feeling appreciated? Are they feeling like they are part of a community? And those are the unsaid expectations of an employee. And when they are unmet, employees get disengaged, and that is important to understand.
Why should organizations treat well-being as a core business imperative rather than just an HR initiative?
So this is an interesting question. Okay. Unfortunately, they treat it as a well-being initiative, and that is my honest confession. They feel HR has to do it. And I will just share with you how it is actually a leadership or a business imperative. Okay. Now, this is a study that was done by Deloitte that in Indian organizations, can you guess the loss to a company because of absenteeism? That means the employee doesn't come to work and is absent. The loss to Indian organizations is about 14,000 crore. Okay? But the bigger loss, silent loss to an organization is employees come to work, they occupy a chair, but they are not productive because of anxiety, burnout, confusion, not having enough trust and teamwork. That loss is 52,000 crore. Now what happens is all the strategies will focus on the absenteeism, but who is going to focus on the presentism? Because your employees are not productivity machines, they are not robots, they have emotions. Then they come to work carrying guilt. Oh, I have not done my work in the house, somebody has not done this is happening, my child has exam. So many things, right? When you come to work with those emotions don't allow you to be productive. So the job which is supposed to be done in and about 2 to 3 hours takes 6 to 8 hours. Efficiency loss. Business targets and goals are not met. And hence, it is important to understand that today employees, when they are coming to work, they are coming with feelings. And organizations feel this feeling matter is a nice to have, but not important to have. It is the reverse. So if leadership begins to understand that this is part of my business, so investing in mental health and employee well-being will give employer brand a competitive strategic advantage if they invest in it. Because we do different things for organizational strategy. We will do PR, marketing, business, so many of those initiatives. But our in-house resources, our people they need that. It's not flexibility. Giving someone flexibility is respecting human dignity. It is not nice to have. It is a must have. Building trust at the workplace is not HR. It is a mandate for outcome of business goals. So I am looking in my journey of 25 years, I have worked with senior business leaders. And it is these subtle elements, not so subtle according to me, subtle according to them, eventually bring that competitive edge. And that will give you the market leadership, not just shareholder acquisition. I mean, the amount of market share you hold is what I mean.
Why do you believe psychological safety has become one of the most critical factors influencing leadership effectiveness, innovation, and team performance?
Most people assume that psychological safety is the softer aspects. In fact, people assume that if it is psychologically safe environment, you will allow for non-performance. It's actually the exact opposite. A culture of psychological safety actually is a culture environment or like fertile soil for extremely high performance. So I'll just share with you the Google conducted a research amongst their highest performing teams. The project is called as Project Aristotle. In that, they have proved that teams that had high psychological safety were actually extremely high performers. Now, what does it mean? First, so psychological safety has kind of 4 steps. You have to go through all the steps to the last one, and every company will say, you see their vision mission of companies. Every company will say, we are innovation-led. Fancy word. Everybody will have it. I'm not sure, maybe even you would have it. But a lot of companies have this word innovation-led, right? But what does it mean for innovation? Let me ask you. Innovation is basically when I'm able to challenge the status quo, right? जो चल रहा है वो नहीं चलना है, कुछ और करना है. But anybody can suggest that. And innovation comes from across the employee life cycle, not necessarily just on the leadership, right? Sometimes a simple employee, even the person opening the door to the office, can actually give a suggestion and the willingness to listen. So coming to the 4 levels of psychological safety, if you want innovation, which is the key for the future of work, innovation-led organizations, is to really give people inclusion. Inclusion safety means worth precedes worthiness. That means as long as you're a human being, I will value you. Right? The next safety, once you feel included, can you really be able to perform? That means I can give my ideas. There is learner safety. That means if I try something new, will I be reprimanded? Right? Asking a question without afraid of feeling stupid, ridiculed. So there is learner safety. That means can I really go out and learn something, try something new? The third is contributor safety. So many times employees get hired, but it is like bringing someone in a game, but putting them on the bench. That means do as directed, do as you are told, don't use your head. Sometimes they feel like that. So it is like person doesn't know whether I have to go into play or no, I'm on the bench. Not in the sense of literally on the bench in the terms of work, but emotionally they feel on the bench. That means, so you need to give them that sense of safety that, okay, you can go, take a step, take a decision, make a mistake. I'm right here. I will hold you. And the last padao, or the last step to psychological safety for innovation is challenger safety. That means, can I say something new? Can I challenge the standard operating procedure here? But giving reasons how it will work. And that, my friends, is like 4 steps of psychological safety. And really, in this highly competitive market where technology is already integrated as part of our lives, AI, ChatGPT is all right here. When organizations will give the 4 stages of psychological safety, then you will see that well-being and performance go together. They are not like opposite sides of a graph. They're actually integrated together. And Gen Z more and more are asking for this. They are not just saying perks are enough. They are actually asking organizations, will I be treated here as a human being? Will I thrive here and not survive here? Is the $1 million question Gen Zs are asking senior leadership, and we have to be ready for the answers.
What do today's employees, especially Gen Z, expect from organizations?
Like I just mentioned, that Gen Z is not just coming to an office. They want to come to a place where they feel safe and belonged. One of the biggest challenges with Gen Z, or the biggest gift with Gen Z, depends on how leadership sees it, is the gift of their ability to speak up. Okay, they don't want to mince their words. They don't want to be diplomatic. They want to express themselves. So leadership has to now strengthen their liver. They have to have courage. Gurda strong karna padega to be able to hear this radical candor from Gen Z. So leadership needs to be prepared as well. But for Gen Z also, that sense of belongingness and safe to speak up is very, very important. And if they don't have it, they will eventually get burnout. If they get burnout, they will openly tell HR, I'm going to take a sick leave because of my mental health. It's a vicious circle. Okay. Even when they're at work, they will get disengaged. Why? Because technology is now part of their life and they know how to use technology better than anybody else. So what we need to create is a culture where technology is bringing people together. It is actually creating trust and not breaking trust. Technology shouldn't put people apart. Okay, we are in a digitally led, and the value of human connections is imperative. The opposite of digital addiction is real human connection. And hence we have to create the culture of connection and community for the Gen Z. They will no longer be motivated by perks, money, incentives. They want to see how their career shapes. They want to be able to feel, if I'm shaping my career, am I a whole human being? It's okay. They will say it's okay if I earn a bit lesser, but I just want to feel good. I want my work-life balance. When I go home, I want to feel good about my life and myself. And these are questions I don't think my generation or the generation before me even asked. For us, it was just how much money is coming home, how much we're taking, how much we're saving, how much we're earning. All of those questions, those are valid questions for Gen Z, but there are more questions as well. So the playground has kind of become wider. The radius has become of the circle is much bigger now. And hence, this is not just HR and leadership need to come together. It is not a wellness initiative only to be run by HR. It is a business imperative that leadership and HR need to come together. And if you don't do it now, then I'm afraid we will not be able to retain talent. And the cost of rehiring and retraining is far higher. And I think wiser organizations moving towards innovation will integrate employee psychological safety now, proactively, not reactively. It's not an emotional firefighting response. Just do it proactively. Like, you take care of your heart, you eat right every day, you exercise, diet every day. Why not this? Yeah, what gets measured gets managed. So really seriously measuring employee well-being like you measure business matrices is also something that will keep the Gen Zs engaged and involved, because they'll say, okay, they're listening to me and they want to be heard.
How do you see the collaboration between ORGATEC India and CRISP? And how do you contribute to this shared vision?
So, ORGATEC India largely creates the ecosystem for employees at the workplace. And CRISP is the Council for Realty Infrastructure, Services and Promotion. This is a group of individuals that support and enable facilities at the workplace. Now, my role in CRISP is largely to bring that holistic perspective, because realty, infrastructure, services and promotion is not just in physical dynamic. The dynamic of the world is now moved from 3 dimensions to many other dimensions. And largely my role is to bring that psychological safety perspective into workplaces, that today the ecosystem is not just about ergonomic sitting. It is not just lighting, those are also important. It's not just creating soundproof rooms. It's not just ensuring that the facilities are taken care of, but the facilities within the human mind, the facilities that create that employees feel that they are able to thrive. It is not just a productivity game anymore. It is not just efficiency, because those were parameters that were there earlier. My role is really to create the holistic perspective that employees are more than just productivity individuals. It is not just an HR imperative, it is a leadership imperative, and enabling employees to feel belonged, included, and enhancing the employee engagement only strengthens organizational strategy and achievement of business goals.
What are some...
So I truly believe in the future of work, the roles and the kind of careers and jobs, in spite of technology being an integrated part of our life. For example, I believe that there will be chief focus officers in the workplace. Because technology is fracturing the human focus. So I feel there will be a chief focus officer. There will be a chief energy officer at the workplace, because burnout is more and more. In fact, the ISO norms demand that preventing burnout is part of organizational strategy. And I feel they will have chief energy officers whose role will be to ensure that employees have higher energy levels when they go, and building trust. Because technology seems to keep people apart, but actually bringing people together and building that transparency at the workplace. I truly believe also our country will slowly move towards having like a chief happiness officer or a psychological safe contingency plan, even at India level. So I think the future of work will include a lot of wholeness and integration. So just my quick suggestions for ORGATEC this year, India, when you have the entire exhibition, I think you hire interns who would be able to be like guiding officers, because it is so vast that people get lost. They don't know where to go. And what tends to just attract an individual is where there is maximum crowd or where they are giving maximum freebies. But that's not how you want to position it, right? You want a person who came there to find value in the exhibition. So I think people should be guided well through the exhibition. 2 is, a lot of speakers came from Navi Mumbai, they are senior leaders in organizations. So for a 15-minute slot, they have traveled 3 hours. So for them, largely, if the audience is larger, the room is slightly in a way that can, the sound quality is better. And 3rd is your PR and news team should be there. So you must invest in getting some news, so that at least the leader who comes there, because what is he going to get moved by? Not just a social media LinkedIn post, right? Currently, you all are just doing a LinkedIn post. And then there is a giveaway. But eventually, they will also feel disengaged. But until you say, okay, we're going to do like a news article or maybe like a smaller newspaper, smaller whatever news channel, then that kind of makes them feel chalo nahi jate hain, make the effort. So that is from the leadership perspective, who you invite at the event. Otherwise, the size of the event is great. The ventilation, the AC, everything was perfect. Your team is very nice to us as leaders, as speakers when we come. But what about that aam admi who's coming there? Because he's eventually your consumer, right? So you must keep your ears on the floor and really listen to what the end consumer wants, because wo hai to sab kuch hai. So that's something. This is my advice to ORGATEC India. See you at ORGATEC India in November.